Today, we're going to go through Markerr's platform and give a full demo. We will be going through all three different dashboards that we have available, giving an overview and using examples that our clients use today. So first things first, we are going to start on markets. This is a really good overview of the broader United States. It's a great way to get the most important income, employment, and demographic piece of data. This data is very low latency and it also has low granularity. So a quick lay of the land here. On the left-hand side, these are going to be your custom metrics that you are going to select that are most important to your specific investment strategy. A couple examples: median household income, multifamily rent, population, job growth, crime. You can look at different time periods for growth. We also have a rent forecast, some really rich demographic information. And if you go down here, you can select all different types of data. If you want to drill down into specific multi-rent, we have that available, whether it's the number of units in available or whether it is different classes. You can also look at single family rent. You can look into income employment and get pretty granular into all of these. For all these metrics, you can hover over and get a quick example of exactly what they are. Now this will save down your custom user instance. So once you set it, you can set it and forget it, and it will always be here. Now you'll notice there are two search options. This is the global search option up here, or you can go MSA or zip here. Alternatively, you can use a map and scroll in like so. You'll notice that there's a legend at the bottom. If you change the metric, it will change what is being covered on the map. But if we're going to utilize the median household income, for example, and drill down into Miami, Florida, you can see that there's going to be a break, and we're going to get you all the way down to the zip code. If you click on the zip code, you can see all that data. Same thing at the MSA level. So if you want to look at MSA or compare cross MSA, that's also available. But for this specific example, note that you always have the forecast available. Whatever you selected on the left-hand side is going to be available here on the right-hand side. So if you scroll down, you'll see the forecast, but you also see the median household income, the multifamily rents, population over time, a couple of pieces of how to actually utilize it. One, you can download this data directly to Excel if that is what you want to do. Alternatively, you can hover over this and you can see exactly what's happening here. Again, very low latency data. This is MSA or zip code. As you scroll down, you can also, there's examples where if you don't want to look at the US, you can do it like so. Here's the MSA level. Perhaps you want to get even more granular into this very specific zip. And you can see exactly what the population is here. You'll notice as we start flipping to different zips, the underlying data itself is going to change. Same thing with job growth. So you can do this for any one of these metrics and just look at a very specific area. As you scroll down, you'll see all the other pieces of information that you've selected, again, based off what you selected here on the left-hand side. Another note in here, you can click on the view drivers in the forecast. What it's going to do is it's going to spit out the historical rent data, but also what our forecast is at the MSA or the zip level. You can see exactly how it's forecasted. One of the coolest things, though, is you can see exactly what is driving the performance at the zip code in this instance. And we'll tell you exactly what it is. We'll give you the examples, how much is pushing up or down, and the total impact on the forecast. You can see the metrics down here. You can scroll all the way to the bottom and see how they are stacked up to make that forecast. The other thing you can do is you can click the data scientist. And what this is going to do, it's going to give you a really simple and concise way to summarize how all the forecast drivers are impacting this specific area. Now you can go back. Other things that I do want to note about this, you can also use the AI Analyst here to summarize everything that you've got here. So you select the metrics here, select the area you want to on the map, look at all the data here. You can download it directly to Excel, or you can get a quick AI Analyst snapshot. And all this data, again, pretty easily exportable. So copy and paste it, and it is effectively instantaneous. So copy here, or if not, all set. All right, moving on to the next piece. You see here, we're in the map view. You can also click into the table view. Now what this is going to do is it's going to bring you into effectively a dynamic data table. You'll notice that all these metrics here are the same metrics that you're going to see up on top. You're going to see all the MSAs, total number down here. You can see if we switch to zip code, that number is going to significantly increase in terms of the total amount of data here. For example's sake, I'm going to stick with the MSA. What you can do here is a lot of times you can filter to your specific investment strategy. So a number of our clients use this today really to help them do their capital allocation based decisions or get down to their specific subject markets. So for example, you want to look at markets that are greater than 500,000 folks. You'll see it cuts it down from 900 to a little over 100. Now, a couple other things that you can do, you can search or sort from high to low based off of different metrics, whether it's population, you can look at job growth, perhaps you want to look at the forecast. You can filter any of these to have greater than a certain amount or less than a certain amount. And then you can download this data directly to Excel. Other things that you can do here. You can do this at the zip code level. It's a little bit harder to demo that, but there is all this data available at the zip code level as well. So you can click back into the map view here. Now you can search specific areas, whether it's here or at the bottom, but if you want to go and jump to Raleigh, North Carolina, you can do this. But we'll also note, and this will come up later, as you start searching, you can also jump directly to properties. So you can type in a property name or a property address, and it'll take you directly there. For this example, we'll go to Raleigh. You can also go further down, and you can go down and type in a specific zip code. But when you're in here, what I'm going to do is you can enter comparison mode. Now what this does is it lets you select multiple different zip codes or MSAs. So if you want to compare cross MSAs or if you're writing reports, this is a really powerful tool to do that as well. But let's say you want to select there's 6 zip codes. And what our clients do today is if they get 6 different deals in their inbox or different OMs that come in, and they want to filter it because they really only have time to fully underwrite 2 deals. Based off of their specific metrics, again, they're selected right here. You can see exactly how all of this data compares and contrasts at the zip code level for all the metrics that are the most important to your specific investment strategy. Now, you can also download this data directly to Excel, or my personal favorite use case of the AI is actually doing the compare and contrast feature in the comparison mode, and it'll give you an observation. It'll compare and contrast every single zip code that you've selected based off the metrics that are the most important to you. You can see exactly how it is going through and summarizing 6 zip codes effectively instantly. All right, you can also exit comparison mode, come back to the map view or the table view here. That effectively wraps up this exercise. Note that this is at the MSA level here, and as you scroll in further, it'll get you down to the zip code level. That effectively wraps up the property section of Markerr. Now, we are going to go to properties next. In properties, the workflow here, you can also do it up here in the global search, like just previously mentioned. But you can go in, you can type a property name, or you can also type in a property address. It will pull up this specific asset here. Now, I do want to note that you can also go and just start looking in by scrolling. And so you can see an entire area. This is the same use case if you don't want to type in an address. So people that are looking for either similar comps to deals or looking for potential deals, they can zoom into a very specific area and understand. So you can see the number of properties is going to be shifting the further in or out that you go. Now, a quick lay of the land, you can filter out by class. You can also filter out by looking only at specific property types or rent, or if people are doing a specific value add type of strategy, you can look at a certain vintage like so, or by changing the dates here. Of course, you can filter by the zip code as well. Now, going into the specific asset, we'll pull up a property card. What it's going to do is it's going to give you a rent range, the median rent, the different types of units that are available. You can also see our prefabbed rent benchmark index here. Similar to what we just saw, you can also filter out and really only look at different categories that are the most applicable to this specific property. You can also look at the property itself. Again, this is based off of our real-time rent data that is updated on a daily basis. So you can see all that data on a daily basis here. But the real beauty starts to come when you click into View Comparables. Now, for this demo, we're going to exclusively use the data of our new comparables. So what you're going to see here is the property itself. Again, net effective rent, asking rent. This data also is really rich in concessions. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to populate comps that our model has identified as very similar. You can see that they're populated here. You can also click on this button, and it's going to give you a full list of up to 100 additional potential comps. You can sort them by our similarity. You can also do it by different net effective rents or asking rents, or if you're looking at a specific vintage, you can look at that. Or if you really want to only look at units above 300, you can filter by any one of these metrics here. As you add or subtract comps, it will change and flow throughout the entire dashboard. You can also change the time period. You'll notice this throughout. Or if you want to change things on the fly, and this property might not be the best, it will change throughout. Now, the next thing I'll note is you can change into different areas. So we'll jump into the by bedroom. You can see the subject property versus the comparable. And here's the full chart here. I'll pause right there. Other things that you can do here. You can look at different bedrooms. You can change the time period here. Perhaps you want a longer time period. Or if you want to get very, very granular, you can look here. You can also change the comps on the fly, and that will change the output data as well. The next note is on pricing. So we do have a pricing-based tool, which is pretty cool. So if you want to look at 2 bedrooms and you only want to look at 2 baths and you want to filter out any outliers in terms of square footage, you can do that. You can also change the strategy. Perhaps you're in lease up, or if you just want to stabilize the property, you can do that. Again, as you go through this, you can change any one of these or pull them out. What you're going to see here, specific asset, as well as the comps here. You can see exactly how they stack up. And then down here, you're going to see the actual underlying units with suggested rent and net effective rent. You can also view the comps data here. Anytime that you see an example of concession data, you can click onto it, see exactly what that concession text looks like. Again, this data is downloadable directly to Excel. I'm going to take you all the way back to the beginning in comparables, because there is actually more you can do. I also want to note you can search a specific property if it's not pulling up in the nearly 100 recommended comps, and you can add it there. And once you set the comps, this will be saved down to your custom user instance forever. A couple of other views that are pretty interesting in here. If you click into this, it's going to give you a full list. Now, what you can do is you can see the full dropdown, and you can see the number of units at the property level, as well as down at the different bedroom types. Now, further, you can see there's different floor plans available here that you can get more information on as you go through them. Now, it's available for all the properties as you go through. The other option that you have is you can look at this in a map view, and you can see exactly where these assets are located relative to your subject property. Now we're going to jump over to the portfolio section. What this does is it gives you access to multiple different portfolios, and it really ties the whole Markerr platform together. So once you've gone through, you've selected all the metrics that are most important to you, you've gone through, you found some properties, you can add them into a portfolio. Now, I also note there are a couple of different options here. You can add multiple different portfolios. Some of our clients will do this for their core portfolio. They'll slice and dice this on a fund basis. Some people will look at this on a geographic basis and have different options for them. Other people in acquisitions will often load up their acquisition pipeline, or if they're getting new deals in, they'll add it in a portfolio type of acquisition. Now you can filter pretty instantly. As you go through this, you can also add properties like so. You can type in a specific property, name or address on a one-off basis, or if it's new, you can upload a CSV or Excel file directly into here, click upload, and it will upload. You can see all this data here. If you go into a property that has more, you can see a larger number of properties on screen. Now, to tie everything together, what we just ran through, here's this basic property card, and you can see this for every different property that you have in your portfolio. You can go directly into that same view comparables, and it's going to get you into this view that we just had. You can also look at either the MSA, or we can do the same zip code example here. Those same metrics that you selected in the beginning on the markets tab will be here as well. So rent forecast, household income, population, job growth, and all the metrics that you selected. Now you can download this data directly to Excel here. You can do the AI analyst summary here. You can click into view drivers and get a full output of what is powering the forecast at this specific zip code, or MSA if you want to click it at this level. In effect, what this does is it gives you a really good overview of the entire portfolio. And you can change the time period, look at some of the different growth rates relative to the comps that you selected for the specific assets in the specific portfolio. You can download this data directly to Excel. We are not trying to fight that workflow. The other thing that I will wrap up here with is there's a full report section. There are hundreds of different reports, including a number of different white papers that you can look at about our specific quantitative based rent forecast or our population forecast. There's also information on different recaps or data sets that we have or specific market deep dives. The other thing that you can do that is pretty interesting, if you click in the top right-hand corner, you can click on the data sets. And this is going to give you a full overview of all the data that we have available. Now, furthermore, you can actually go in, and if you want to learn more about our income and employment data set, for example, you can click on the product sheet. And it will give you a full description of exactly what it is, how it's calculated, and some of the specific metrics available. You can also download a data dictionary. You can Control F through this Excel file to look at some of the specific examples of metrics that we have and the explanations for them. So that's all available here. Again, that's the top right-hand corner, data sets, and that will help you out. Again, this is Markerr. You can look through markets, properties, portfolios, reports, and here's the data sets section. That effectively concludes the demo of Markerr's platform.